What's up, y'all? It's your girl Kai and I'm back with another video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're new here, what's up? My name is Kai and you are tuning into my YouTube channel. It must be Kai. Definitely go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe button before we get right into this video, where I'm going to show y'all how to grow your natural hair in a sew-in. So if you're interested, definitely stay tuned. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna just be straight up. My sewing content hasn't been going crazy like my natural hair content, but that's not gonna stop me from letting y'all know the things that you can do for your natural hair while it is in this protective style. I think I already have a video on my channel of how to grow your hair in a protective style, so this goes hand in hand with that, but this is the sew-in edition, okay? Because baby, we still have to protect this hair and make sure that it's growing while it's put up. All right, so if you have not seen the backstory on my install, if you have not seen my maintenance of how I keep it like this or whatever, if you don't know what type of hair this is, watch the other videos. It's in the last two videos because y'all ain't been watching those. So go watch those videos and then you come over here and hang out with us. All right, so first things first, I got my Christmas pajamas on because it's the most wonderful time of the year. Okay, there will be cookies being baked tonight. There will be hot cocoa being made. Like, the Christmas tree is plugged up. We are doing all that stuff, and it's raining and cold outside. Woo! Y'all, I just love this. I love every bit of it. Okay, so I was like, let me go ahead and make this video and let them know the tea on how to grow their natural hair inside of their sew-in. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into number one. Look, y'all know I like the number stuff. So real quick, also, this is a Yaki Kinky straight hair. My hair, I did not straighten this hair, so this is the hair just blown out, and then this is my natural hair on top. Like, this little section right here is mine, and it lays on top. And I feel like not straightening my hair out bone straight definitely contributed to me being able to wear my hair like this, where it's just my hair on top and it looks normal. Okay, it just looks like thick blowed out Kai. Like, I love this look. It just looks so natural. You can't tell what's my hair and what's the weave hair, and that's what I was totally looking for. And then also too, it keeps me from having to damage my hair and trying to make my hair blend. Like, that cuts down on so much stress, let me tell you, because I have not had to try to force my hair to blend with this hair. It just naturally blends. So that's a 10 out of 10 for me. But let's go ahead and get into this list of how we could grow our hair up in all this. All right, so the first one is keeping your scalp moisturized. Okay, so if you did watch the video on how I got this install, you know that I did not put a net on my hair. And the reason I did not put a net on top of my braid down is because I needed to be able to dig in here and scratch. I need to be able to dig in here and put some moisturizer. I need to be able to dig in here and put some oil and leave-in. I need to be able to dig into my scalp and get to my scalp and be able to do all that stuff. And with a net, I can't dig my finger in here and be scratching. You see what I'm saying? Look, there was a method to my madness, I told y'all. Because I just be digging right in here like it's my head, and I scratch my head. And I love that. So this also gives me the freedom to moisturize my scalp and my braids. Okay, real easy. So if you want to see growth in your hair while it's in a sewing, because all of my hair is currently braided up, but I'm not gonna see growth in my hair. Is just up under here dry. Like, you just can't be leaving your hair hanging because you don't see it and it just be dry. You need to get up in there, get your homegirl, your mama, your cousin, or your granny to go inside and put some moisturizer in your scalp. Make sure that you're adding moisturizer, leave-in, and then I say go on top with oil if you want to. Y'all know I don't really put oil on my scalp that often. Actually, very rarely, you know, that I put oil on my scalp. But I usually put leave-in on my scalp. When my mom did this braid down to sew my hair in, she actually put the quench leave-in on my scalp because I asked her to. She was like, you want me to put leave-in on your scalp? I'm like, baby, yes. Yes, because I don't have itchy problems, okay? My hair is not itching. My hair is not, you know, excessively itching or flaking. It does not feel dry because I went in with a leave-in on my scalp. And I think a lot of people think that, oh, it's a leave-in, it's for your hair shaft. Baby, put that stuff on your scalp because it's a moisturizer. Okay, it moisturizes real nice, and it's not heavy, it's light, and your scalp just gonna love it and absorb it and push out some long, thick, healthy hair follicles. Okay, so that is my first one. Just make sure that you're keeping whatever is underneath your sewing, whether you have braids, whether you have braid down with a net, make sure you're keeping that moisturized, your scalp especially, because like I said, what is producing long hair, long luxurious hair, is your scalp. So we need to make sure that it's healthy, and we also need to slap moisturizer, oil, leave-in on these braids as well, because we need to keep these braids moisturized underneath our sew-ins, wigs, everything. We cannot forget about them. We cannot leave them left out because they're not getting the air and freedom that they always do. So it's important that we give them the love that they deserve. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into number 2. Okay, so y'all, for number 2, I already kind of talked about this a little bit in the beginning. No excessive heat. Stop it. All right, this is why I'm gonna be a full-on advocate for the Yaki Kinky straight hair, because the heat is not excessive with this. Okay, I do not have to press out my leave out every day. I just don't have to, because it meshes with the hair. All right, and y'all know I'm the main person that is gonna come on here and talk all day long about don't put all that heat on your hair, don't put all that heat on your hair. Because let me tell you, baby, when you be putting that heat on your hair, and I'm talking about when you're blowing it out to get your braid down too. I know you want a flat, smooth braid down, but that just depends on your braider. And yes, you do need to blow dry your hair out as much as possible, but just make sure that you're not using so much heat on your hair, because you're gonna be blowing it out and damaging it, and then you're gonna braid it up and you're not gonna know for a while. See, you see what I'm saying? Okay, we want to see hair growth, and we also do not want to break off all of this leave out by putting so much heat and product on it that when we take our braids out and when we take this sewing out, what do we have, ladies and gentlemen? We have curls with all of this broke off and straight, because we all done been there, done that. It's already happened to, I think it's happened to everybody before. We was wearing sew-ins in 2016 to 2018 before the wigs came out, and we all damaged our leave out, and our leave out was straight. It didn't have no curls to it. It was all broke off and it was extra short, and then the rest of our hair was all curly and fluffy and luxurious, and we don't need that to happen again. Because y'all, that was my biggest fear, and that was my main thing about going into this sew-in. I was like, I do not want to mess around and damage my leave out, baby, because you know how long it took me to get my leave out right, like back to normal, to where I could wear a wash and go and be cute. It took me forever. If you haven't seen my natural hair journey, check out my natural hair journey, because you're gonna see all of that. All right, and even on my channel, I show y'all cutting off, like, I think I cut like a curly bang, and that's because it took me a long time to get my hair unheat damaged from the sew-ins that I would wear in college. Okay, so that is just no excessive heat, and I'm gonna say that in every single video to the end of time. Y'all come on this channel a decade from now, and I'm gonna still be talking about some minimal heat. Don't be putting all that heat on your hair. Relax on the heat, sis. Okay, because we're already using excessive products to just make sure that our leave out stays straight and isn't frizzing and all that stuff all the time. So keep the heat to a minimum. Okay, so that is my number 2. And number 3, minimal tension. Okay, don't let them braiders braid your eyebrows. Okay, if your eyebrows are right here, after they get done braiding your hair down, if they back here, baby, tell them to take that out. Okay, because that's too tight. That is too tight. What people do not realize is that when you are getting your braid down, if it is too tight, you know what those hairs are gonna do? They're gonna snap. They're gonna snap because you're pulling them, and so they ain't gonna stay pulled forever. When y'all be like, oh, it take a few days to loosen up. No, baby, it's not loosening. The hair is breaking and snapping, and so now it's not pulling anymore because it's all broken, snapped. Okay, stop getting these really tight braid downs. It's excessive. It's too much. When my mom did my braid down, honey, I told her, I said, braid it down. It don't have to be tight, okay? And my braids have never been tight. I never, ever had to take a Tylenol. I never had to do any of that. Because I'm just like, do not braid my hair that tight. Like, what? And that's probably the reason why I only go to my mama, because she knows and she understands me. Like, I don't need no super tight braid down, all right? If I don't look like this in person, I don't need to look like that when I get a sew-in, okay? I'm cute the way I am. But anyway, people think that when they are putting all that tension on their hair and doing a really tight braid down, oh, give it a few days, it's gonna loosen up. Or they want their eyes to look like this. Baby, it's not loosening because your hair grew or the braids just released. It's loosening because the hairs that were pulling the most just snapped off. So that's why when you take out your braids, you getting a ton of shedding, because that's all the hair that has been pulled super duper tight. It couldn't take no more, and so it snapped. All right, so minimal tension. All right, minimal tension. They don't need to braid the tracks in your hair super duper tight either. That doesn't need to be like excessive. Y'all gotta stop with the excessive tension, because all that's doing is breaking your hair. I know you think that it's gonna loosen eventually, it's gonna not be so tight. No, baby, it just broke. It just broke off. So now it's not pulling anymore because it's been detached from your scalp, and now you have less hair, because we're focusing on hair health and hair growth, and we want our hair to grow. All right, so our hair's not gonna grow if we thinning it out and snapping it off and braiding stuff down too tight and pulling our sew-ins too tight. It's just not gonna grow. My hair is very comfortable under this. I did not have to wait for my sew-in to loosen up at all, okay? It was not tight after she did it. It's felt like this the whole time, all right? So keep that in mind. Minimal tension when it comes to getting your sew-ins done. Don't tell them braid it up tight so you could look like this. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, okay? Because then when you take the sew-in out, you're gonna look like this and your hair gonna be broke off. Pick your battles. Pick your battles. Let's go ahead and get into the last one, which is number 4. This is a big one for me. I did not used to do this. I did have to learn over time. And I think because I have not had a sew-in in a good 4 years, this is something I appreciate getting this sew-in now that I have a platform and that I've learned so much about my natural hair. So I know how to treat my natural hair, and I know how to wear a sew-in correctly, where I'm not basically taking 10 steps back whenever I get a sew-in because I'm damaging and pulling out my hair. I'm actually promoting hair growth and making sure that my hair stays healthy underneath, okay? So I'm just thankful for the time that I had where I did not wear a sew-in to learn about my hair and learn how to keep it healthy and long, okay? So number 4 is going to be wash and rinse your hair, okay? I know. After you get out that chair, you want to leave it as long as it can be as the stylist made it, because I know the stylists be doing all the special baby hair and all that stuff. I know. But wash your hair, rinse it, okay? I've had this sew-in in for 1 week and I've already washed and rinsed it. I will be rinsing my hair again in probably 2 weeks. Probably a week, 2 weeks. I'm gonna rinse my hair again. So I had it in a week and I went ahead and washed and rinsed it. And I think that also contributed to me not having really itchy braids, because I let my scalp and my hair get wet, because my hair is used to getting wet. My hair is used to seeing some water, okay? So you don't want to deprive your hair of water because you're trying to keep a style. Go ahead and let that sewing get wet. It ain't nothing. It ain't gonna hurt it. It ain't gonna hurt it. Go ahead and let it get wet and then you restyle it, okay? But do not try to deprive your braids underneath and your hair from water because you want to keep the style. You can keep the style. It might not look exactly how it was when you got out of that chair, but don't try to preserve it, because all you're gonna get is dry hair. My hair loved that water. When I rinsed my hair was like, oh hey girl, I ain't even had a chance to miss you, and you already getting me right. So my braids have gotten wet. And because I don't have a net, I literally just blow dried my sew-in. Like I blow dried the hair, and then I just rolled my hair up, and I literally just sat all day and let my braids dry. That is something that is very important, to make sure that the hair underneath dries. Take a blow dryer, go in there with it, and leave the scarf off your head. Don't wrap it, don't do nothing, because you really want your braids to dry, because last thing we want is mildew buildup. We do not want that sticky smell, and we do not want wet braids. It's very uncomfortable, okay? We're trying to make sure our hair grows and flourishes. So I really just watered the grass, and the grass enjoyed it, okay? So I'm gonna give it probably about another week or two, maybe 2 weeks. another week and a half, and then I'm gonna wet this down again, okay? Because my leave out even loved it. My leave out curled right up, and it was like, hey, give your hair some love. Don't be afraid to add water, okay? Don't be afraid to add products to it. Don't be afraid to replenish your leave-in conditioners. Don't be afraid to do any of that stuff, baby, because the sewing's not going anywhere, and you're gonna be beautiful either way, okay? So even if it's not, don't get out the stylist chair and think that you cannot put water or add water or anything. Even if you take a little spray bottle and just spray inside of it to give it some water and then put some moisturizer inside, do that, okay? I will understand that as well. But don't leave that stylist chair and not rinse or wash or get your hair wet underneath, because that's not going to help your hair growth, okay? Your hair is going to be dry, brittle, and it's going to be real thirsty underneath. So go ahead and let it get wet. Do not leave the stylist chair and then not wet your hair or let your hair get wet or rinse it or anything or add moisture to it, nothing, until it's time to take the hair out. Don't do that. Do not do that. You will not see hair growth. You're going to see a whole bunch of shedding, okay? Because we're going to shed regardless. Think about that. We are going to shed regardless. But to cut down on that shedding and retain length, please follow these 4 steps, okay? 4 things. That's all I'm asking you to do. That's going to help grow your hair in this sew-in, okay? So, just to recap, number 1, keep your hair moisturized. Keep your scalp moisturized underneath all this. Number 2, no excessive heat, because we don't want to destroy this while we trying to grow this, because then it's gonna be off balance and we're gonna have to catch up. That's not gonna help grow your hair either, okay? Number 3, minimal tension. Don't let them braiders braid their hair down too tight. All it's gonna do is be breaking. You're just gonna break your hair off, okay? And we don't want broken hair. We don't want it to break off from the root, the shaft, or the ends, all right? So little tension. Don't have it pulled too tight. That's not good for your hair. And number 4, wash and rinse your hair. Don't be afraid to wash your sewing, get your sewing wet. If you decide to do it yourself like I do, or go back to the stylist and ask them to do it so you can be comfortable, go right ahead. But just make sure that you're not depriving your natural hair underneath of water and moisture, okay? Even if you just take a spray bottle and go in there because you're uncomfortable and you don't want to wet your whole head down, I understand that, babes. Just go in with a spray bottle to make sure those braids get wet and your scalp gets wet. Add some moisture to it and make sure that they fully dry. So that brings me to the end of this video. I hope these tips were very helpful. I hope y'all are able to retain length and grow your hair, because baby, that's what I'm doing right now. I need my hair to be like, this big. This big when I take this out, okay? I need maybe like 3 inches when I take this out. I'm asking for too much. But thank y'all so much for tuning into this video. Y'all be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm gonna see y'all in the next video.